Good day, everyone. I'm your professor in special education and inclusive education. Let's start our lesson with the types, characteristics, and identification of gifted and talented learners. For the definition of giftedness, gifted and talented convey different meanings to different people. Nevertheless, it is considered acceptable to use these terms interchangeably, such as when we say gifted learner or talented learner pertaining to the same person. Quote by Davis Ream and Siegel 2014. For uniformity in terminology in this chapter, we will refer to gifted and talented learners as gifted learner, and we refer to their characteristics as giftedness. Let's start with the diverse definitions given to giftedness that can be placed under five categories. First category is after the fact definition. Those who are consistently performing outstandingly and achieve in a valuable area are considered gifted or talented. Like, for example, this violinist is consistently performing outstandingly. So he is very good or outstanding in his craft. We might say that this guy is gifted or talented. So when your students are good in arts consistently, we may call them gifted or talented. Next category is type 2, the creative. This learner is divergently gifted. However, it can be challenging when this learner's needs are not met. There is a tendency for one to go unidentified, question authority, and be non-conforming because nobody is conforming his or her talent. So there is a tendency for this gifted child to go unidentified without confirmation. Next category is type 2, the underground. Due to social pressure, this learner may hide giftedness in order to fit in with non-gifted peer groups. This could lead to sudden decline in grades, and this learner may experience conflict between one's needs and expectations of one's parents and teachers. That's why we have gifted learners at first, and then suddenly they fail their grades because of their fitting in with their peer groups. Next category, type 4, at risk. The giftedness needs of this learner have not been met, resulting to defensiveness and anger toward adults or oneself. This could lead to symptoms of depression and withdrawal as well as acting out. This learner usually develops interests that are outside of the school's regular curriculum and has a poor self-concept. So that's why there are other gifted learners at first, and then suddenly they change to a rebellious state because their needs as a gifted learner have not been met. But as times goes by, they find their interest outside their school curriculum. So some of them show their talent and skills in dancing, street dancing. Next category, type 5, twice exceptional. This learner possesses giftedness at the same time as being physically or emotionally challenged. Because of learning abilities or poor verbal abilities, this learner is not typically identified as gifted. Since school programs usually do not attend to this learner's needs, it could lead to one being discouraged, frustrated, and rejected. So, some gifted learners are having difficulties in communicating their um, feelings verbally, They are being categorized as not gifted at all. So this lead to being discouraged and rejected. Next category is type 6, the autonomous learner. This learner adapts easily to the school system and is able to create oneself new opportunities. This learner has positive self-concept and receives positive attention and support for one's accomplishment. This learner is often put at leadership roles. So this is the positive side of being a gifted and being confirmed by the society. So that this learner has positive self-concept and thus receives positive attention. And later on, this learner is put at leadership roles. Next, let's move on to the typical and atypical development of learners. Typical and atypical development. Knowledge of typical and atypical development can be useful for teachers and parents in identifying learners with giftedness and talents. So if you know typical and atypical development, you can use this to identify learners with giftedness and talents. You should notice these areas for developmental milestones. Cognition, it's all about thinking, reasoning, problem solving, and understanding of the students. Coordination is about the body movements of the learner. Social interaction, how the learners interact with other learners. Adaptive development is all about the personal skills of the learners, like dressing, eating, and washing their own clothes or self. Lastly, for your activity, you have to interview at least 5 people. Get their names and their course about their concept concept of a gifted and talented learner. And answer the following questions in a bond paper. Question number 1. What are the definitions of giftedness? Number 2, sort these definitions into 5 categories of definition of giftedness. After the fact, IQ, talent, and creativity. Number 3, try to come up with an integrated definition of giftedness based on their response. This is to be submitted next week. Okay? That's the end of our lesson, and thank you for listening. Good luck.